Welcome back to Rift Rivals 2017. If you're just joining us, Rampage were able to take down Gigabyte Marines.
Hang on a second, before you get into that, let's not spoil it. If you're just joining us, rewind the video by 2 hours and actually just watch the damn game. Because this has been some impressive League of Legends so far. I mean, what an absolute cracker of a day.
It certainly was. I mean, it was an impressive game to watch. It was a very bloody match as well. And wow, Rampage went all the way.
Yeah, they certainly didn't. I mean, say what you will, we're going to break down exactly how we thought it happened, but hats off to Rampage because they had a disappointing game versus ZywOolves yesterday. They would have been kicking themselves. That was their chance at revenge, but being able to come in, take down the Marines and really cement the LJL, I mean, they're coming first or second in this group now. That is so impressive.
Yep. And who's the best team now? I thought that, you know, the one solid piece of evidence we had coming into this was Gigabyte Marines are really, really good, and then the rest of it, bit of a fight for it, but you know, Rampage come in with a solid victory, and they just played quite well around the map.
And we had people saying Ascension were the second best team. Detonation Focus Me were able to pick up 2 wins, and they're currently top of the ladder of LJ as well. It's a big mix-up, and we don't really quite know.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I know when you have a look at that game, I mean, I like to talk about drafts as a way that your job as a coach when you go into a draft or as an analyst is to just set your team up at 50-50 or better. You're trying to get them in a position to be able to win the game. And I felt that was a pretty greedy draft coming out of the Gigabyte Marines in the end. There were a lot of blind picks coming in, you know, melee support. That was just something that unfortunately ended up biting them a little bit as the game progressed.
Yeah, definitely. I think as it's just put up on your screen now, you can see that they didn't have any hugely strong points across the map, except for that one matchup in the jungle, which they saved for their 10th pick on the, you know, I guess, well, 5th pick and 5th pick on red side. And like, yeah, it's a good matchup for the Graves if he gets like a good early experience lead and he can start scaling into the game against team fights. But, you know, hats off to Tussle. He played phenomenally, and he got so many impressive ganks off early, and he just like carried his team through that early phase of the game, and you know, get them into that mid game and let them start fighting.
And you called this out, Spawn. He did the exact same jungle path we saw Rampage do in their match against ZywOolves. It was the Raptors into red delayed leash, straight top side. Don't even take big chicken and go for a gank.
Yeah, and I know when you have a look at that gank path, I mean, there's a couple of ways that you can spot it out. I mean, bottom lane is so delayed in getting to lane. They've legitimately leashed 2 cans. I mean, mid lane is going to be missing mana. He's obviously sat over the wall, been leashing it out as well. So you should be able to read that play. And someone, it's either the jungler's fault because he said, I will path towards top side and then went, oh, sorry, mate, you've already pushed out, but I see an opportunity mid. Or the top laner is like, just should be playing back off that wave. I mean, Kennen is that much of a lane bully. You miss like the CS, but not the experience on the first like 3 or 4 minions, you're still going to be able to push around the melee Camille.
Yeah, it's honestly just comes down to the timing, and I think it's hard to read. Obviously, the Japanese junglers seem to have a pretty good grasp on this. We've seen a few players do that, and you know, I think that obviously the LJL teams are really accustomed to that gank path. Obviously, Southeast Asia probably not used to it, and the timing window for top lane just, you know, he didn't expect it.
And this was such a fun thing because when we actually spoke to the Japanese lineups yesterday, they said that they were working together. I think it was Seros that, you know, said that our coaches are working on drafts together, that they've been communicating, that we've thrown kind of, you know, what's happening in domestic league out the window, and we're actually here to win as a region. And, you know, you can see that I think it was Steel also that replicated this jungle path. So, you know, maybe trading a little information behind the scene and coming up with something creative. I like it.
Now LGL, they're currently 4-1. It's a bit harder for the GPL teams to do this because all 3 of them are from different countries and they all speak different languages. OPL,
look at the excuses that is coming out of the GPL representative. Mate, we have some people from Melbourne and Sydney as well. You know how different the dialect is that we speak?
Oh, boy. Not at all. Nothing. There's no difference. You all speak English. I don't understand what you're talking about. But but now let's actually check in with one of the winners from that last match, Dara, who was something like 7-1-1. He's standing by with Hingers for an interview.
Hey guys, I'm here with Dara, fresh off that victory. Congratulations on the win. I want to ask, how does it feel to be top of the table right now?
일단 승리한 거 축하드리고 지금 이제 LJL이 1위로 올라섰는데 어떤 기분이신지?
1위로 일단 올라간 건 기쁘고요. 저희가 1승을 했다는 게 일단 그게 메인으로 기쁜 것 같아요.
I'm definitely happy with the LJL is the first place right now, and then the more important thing and the thing that which makes us more exciting is we make a single win today.
Yeah. Well, moving forward then, who would you rather face? If you guys go to the final, who would you rather face? The OPL or the GPL in that final?
일단 만약 결승으로 이제 다이렉트로 진출하시게 된다면은 뭐 GPL과 OPL 중에 어디를 더 만나고 싶으신가요?
저는 개인적으로 오스트레일리아 만나고 싶어서 한번 복수를 하고 싶습니다.
어떤 복수?
경기를 저희가 졌으니까 한번 이기고 싶어요.
So he said that he prefers to, personally, he prefers to face Oceania because they lost yesterday. They want revenge.
Oh, so it's like a personal attack then. Well then, for your region then, what kind of faith do you have in the other LJL teams? Do you think they're going to be able to take the victories today as well?
뭐 LGL 같은 경우에는 오늘 또 이제 다른 팀 남아 있잖아요. 이길 거라고 생각하시나요? 아니면 그러니까 경기 결과 어떻게 생각하시는지?
전 이길 것 같습니다. 이길 것 같아요. 저희 USG도 강한 팀이라서 저희 쪽이 이길 것 같습니다.
So he thinks that like LJL is, even like he's very confident with the LJL as a region, and then even the USG he thinks is very strong. So he believes that all these Japanese teams like left matches they will just win it.
Oh, well, finally, I want to ask. Yesterday you guys lost. Today you guys won. What did you guys change, and what did you flip around in the meantime in order to pick up that win?
어제 같은 경우에는 게임을 졌었고 오늘은 이겼잖아요. 이제 이거를 어떠한 방식으로 이걸 했기 때문에 이제 이런 경기 결과에 차이가 나왔는지.
처음 시작부터 이제 픽밴에 되게 중요성을 두고 이제 저희가 자신 있는 픽도 이제 하면서 조합을 맞춘 그게 제일 중요했던 것 같아요.
So I think the most important part that which actually affected in our result is that we try to improve our pick and ban, and then we try to pick our preferred pick, and at the same time try to combine the good synergy picks, and then I think it worked very well.
All right, well, congratulations again on the win. Thank you for speaking to us, and best of luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
There you go, guys. You heard from them there. You know, exactly what you guys were talking about. Wanted to improve on their picks and bans. And on top of that, they want to try and face off against Oceania in the grand finals. They want to get their revenge against the Divals and picking up a victory.
And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I just love that passion that comes out. You know, we want to play the team that beat us because we want to be able to get one back. And if it continues to go 1-1 between the Direwolves and Rampage, there's a legitimate rivalry that will start to brew off the back of those kinds of games.
If I'm Rampage there, I'm actually saying I want to verse Oceania because no one actually likes playing against Southeast Asia. Like, it's just annoying. We saw it in both games so far that, you know, it is just brawly and skirmishy.
Well,
yeah, because we got Sin and the Legacy coming up. Like, we don't play a brawly branded league at all.
Well, speaking of which, we will have Oceania taking on Southeast Asia in this next match. It's going to be the number 2 seeds from those regions, Legacy taking on Ascension.
Yeah, and you know, a possibility here for Legacy to get some revenge against G4 and Lloyd and Warlock and those players that were able to knock out the Chiefs all those time ago. And I think that they actually have pretty sound mechanical players to be able to do it. I mean, Claire, when he's on his ball, should be able to match up quite well against G4. Mm-hmm. And I think that as far as mechanical young guns in the OPL go, Lost has to be up there as well.
Yeah, I think this is actually stylistically going to be a fun matchup just for lanes. You know, we sort of touched on G4, Warlock, Lloyd, all having, you know, pretty good mechanics. Well, maybe bar Warlock, but no, they have experience and they definitely did take us down. And I think that one of the key discrepancies we faced as Chiefs back in 2015 was that, you know, they were individually stronger than us and they outmuscled us in lanes and stuff. Whereas, you know, as you mentioned, Legacy are coming in pretty hot and they've had, you know, some pretty good weeks in the OPL and they've got some young guns who are actually, you know, really showing some good results.
Yep, so let's take a look at the opponents from the Legacy lineup. It's going to be Ascension from Thailand, representing the 2nd seed from the GPL. Renren up in the top lane with Noonie in the jungle. And then the people we all know, G4, Lloyd, and Warlock as their mid laner, AD carry, and support.
And I mean, yesterday when they were going up against Dead FM, they did ban away the Ziggs and played a pretty standard game. And in the end, unfortunately, it was Steel's jungle pathing that, you know, really set Renren behind and also was able to pick up a kill on G4. Actually, in the first clear of the jungle. I mean, he went top lane, killed top lane, went mid lane, burnt the flash, killed him as well. Was absolutely just everywhere. And I think that they have to look at their early game because we know that they have strong lanes. If they get to neutral and get ultimates and things like that, this is a team that they have dynamic players in mostly every role. So I think that it's just about, you know, shoring that up and getting a little bit more protection early.
And that kind of does worry me. We've seen Legacy been, at least domestically, drafting these 30, 35-minute compositions where they're playing Karma mid and Taric support and they're playing for that late game with no early game insurance policy. So I think that, you know, if Legacy are going to go for such a greedy draft as they have at home, you know, maybe that's the avenue that, you know, the Southeast Asian team have to take here.
And Carbon doesn't play gank-heavy junglers. Like, he plays very supportive role, likes the Ivan, likes the Nunu, was disappointed, you know, that wasn't able to pick it up. It was banned away from him. I think that when we see this today, I mean, I'm not expecting to see like a Gragas or a Rek'Sai out of him. If they leave it up, I think he's actually just going to go back towards utility and look to lock it in.
I mean, I guess we see, right? But I'm pretty sure that if he's got Juves and Shern on over both his shoulders, they're going to be going, Rek'Sai, Lee Sin. So hopefully, you know, the week of camaraderie pushes him towards these aggressive junglers. Please, Carbon.
Well, let's see what they're going to be able to pull out in this match. For now, let's check in with their lineup for Legacy. Up at the top lane is going to be their vice captain, Tally. Their captain, Carbon, heading into the jungle with Claire in the mid lane. Lost and Cupcake, their AD carry and support.
And once again, this is a team from Oceania that has 3 rookies on their lineup. I mean, Claire played in the LGLCS and has been around for a very long time, but hadn't played in the OPL all that much before. Lost and Cupcake, of course, both very young players. Lost the honorary New Zealander coming across there with his buddy Cupcake as well. So I think that their bottom lane is pretty dynamic. They play a different brand of League of Legends than a lot of people. They play things like, Taric and Trundle that we keep talking about. Lucian Braum was something they brought back, very scrappy players. And I think that they will enjoy the challenge of playing up against Lloyd and Warlock because it's a very similar play style.
The one thing that scares me, and I'm actually going to make a bold prediction, like Legacy 100% ban Thresh this game because Cupcake is not that comfortable on it, and I don't think he wants to pick it. And we've already noticed, how important Thresh has been this tournament. And there's always going to be the argument of like whether you play the Tom or his own counterpick, the Taric. But I think that that's a mistake, and I think that giving over Thresh to this Southeast Asian team, who are aggressive in lane and want to look for picks, is going to be a massive mistake.
And I mean, Thresh is just such a dynamic pick. Is very good both in the laning phases, great in team fights, great for pick comps. It just has too many tools. If you're not a Thresh player, ban it away.
And there you go, being banned out already by Legacy, as well as Callista being taken away from Lloyd as well. Already into Champion Select for the 3rd match of today. Ascension Gaming taking on Legacy Esports.
Galio or Nunu, Galio or Zach is getting through. And the big thing is, they would rather pick Galio. As far as I'm concerned against Legacy, they play Galio. Oh, they ban it away. That is so strange.
Yeah, so Zach being banned out here by Legacy. Nunu was the ban that came out from Ascension. Caitlyn and Camille followed shortly after, and they first pick Rek'Sai.
I mean, do you last pick on the red side Galio for Tally and then ban out the Fiora and all the other counter picks that exist?
No, I think you have to take it this rotation. I would be too scared. Oh,
wow, they go for Karl Varus.
I would be scared to give over Rek'Sai Galio. Rek'Sai, his one sort of flaw, I think, at the moment is that he has fantastic follow-up, but as like a solo tank engage, especially if you're going like, maybe a fervor or a damage build early, he's really hard to get in like before he has like 2 or 3 tanky items. You have a Galio on your team, he's burrowing forward, he's flashing forward, and the Galio, he's just ulting on top of him. So I will be very upset if Ascension don't take it here.
Legacy didn't take Elise either, so that's got potential to be banned out here by Ascension. They can only have one or the other in this draft phase.
I mean, if I get to pick Galio or Elise, I'm taking the Galio 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, there's really I don't think there's much sense in taking the Elise into the Rek'Sai. Obviously, they're not going to pick Rek'Sai and Elise in the same draft.
Yep.
I'd prefer the Gragas. I think Gragas is a better matchup into Rek'Sai, and I'm pretty sure Carbon should be a little bit more at home on that.
For sure.
So Lulu's the pick of choice for Ascension, so they don't go for the Galio pickup. Now Legacy, do they go for the Galio release, or do they continue with the trend of not picking either of these champions? Ooh. And it's going to be the Elise lock-in for Legacy.
All right, you're a bit of a monster, Carbon. Let's go. I think this second ban phase, Galio has to be banned by Legacy. You cannot give over the Lulu ult, the Galio ult, to go in with this Rek'Sai. That is just a nightmare to deal with.
I'm trying to I'm taking a step back and saying have we missed something here? We haven't. It will be banned off the board. The reason that I was so excited about it is Legacy, for the longest time, we're talking about Galio LeBlanc comps. And LeBlanc is one of Claire's best champions. And the ability, and we've seen it played internationally, the ability to send a clone in, Galio ult it, follow it up with all of this burst damage is actually just phenomenal, as well as the fact that it protects a 1-3-1 style by being able to collapse on the mid lane very quickly. And that's how Legacy do tend to like to play, so it's a little bit strange.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, if you haven't played against that, it catches you off surprise, let me tell you. Yeah, so I'm glad that, if they're not willing to play something like that, that they just get rid of it. Getting rid of the Lucian mid, I'm kind of interested to see. I feel like they want to play
Cannon top, maybe. Maybe it's a Lucian top that they're worried about.
Maybe if you, yeah, yeah, I feel like obviously, there's a few options. It could still go mid for G4. I'm not sure if he plays it. We've seen it a few times get put to mid. But yeah, no, I think that obviously both of Tally's comfort, or 2 of his comfort picks have just been removed away. Jarvan's a good answer, though.
Yep, Fiora and Renekton being banned out by Ascension Gaming means Jarvan can be taken to the top lane quite easily. Kled could be picked up by Renren here.
Yeah, I think that's I'd expect to see it. It has a pretty good matchup into Jarvan.
Gragas also not a bad matchup into Jarvan as far as mages go. If you want to take a brawler into him as well.
G4, he's thrown the gauntlet here, Spawn. He's picked up the LeBlanc mid lane, back to the Assassins. No more control mage here.
Maybe we just see... Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Legacy is still holding the flex. Claire definitely not a stranger to Karma. Maybe doesn't want that into LeBlanc. Not sure of his personal preference to the matchup. Personally, don't think it's great. So that's a pretty smart pick, I think, out of Ascension. They have to blind something, but, you know, the Karma is the possibility. And as you called it, there comes the Gragas.
Yeah, I mean, now we have to look at, you know, Jace, Cassiopeia, Syndra, all have been what Claire has played into LeBlanc in the OPL in the past. I mean, Corki is also a relatively okay matchup, but, oh, it is. It's going to be the Karma mid.
Karma mid lane for Claire. Zyra pick up for Cupcake in the bottom lane with Varus. Very exciting lineup from both these teams.
Now I'm completely confused why Carbon picked Elise over Gragas, because they have such a good team fighting comp. And I mean, Elise can get busy early, but Gragas is also a pretty good ganker as long as he has Flash and Body Slam available. And when you have a look at like what the idea is, it's like a pile-in comp. I mean, get Jarvan in there, get Gragas in there, and then throw out the big Karma shields. At the same time, Elise brings a little bit more early game damage as well as the ability to snowball lanes, but just doesn't seem to fit the mantra of the rest of the team.
Yeah, I guess it's going to have to come down to personal preference, you know. His coach is going to have said to him, you know, what would you prefer here? Like, are you just going to be comfortable playing something you know? And maybe that is the Elise pick. Maybe Gragas, you know, less practice on. Maybe in their games they've been flexing it more to top, like giving less Carbon less practice on it. So I guess it probably comes down to personal preference. I think that the matchup it's not impossible. Obviously, I think it's favored towards Rek'Sai. So we'll see how that plays out, which I think could be, you know, a pivotal point in this game is whether or not Carbon can make sure his team doesn't get steamrolled too early on.
Yeah, very curious draft from these two teams. I mean, Galio at least being left up all the way. Only a Zac ban from the 3 major OPs. But one thing stays the same. Everyone's just afraid of Carbons. Nunu, apparently, that's the first ban from Ascension coming into this match.
Are you even afraid of it, or do you just have no experience against it? It's a wild card, best of 1 pick. Like, you know, don't risk it. Obviously, they've probably played against a lot of Elise and a lot of Gragas. Definitely 2 favorite picks coming out of almost every jungler. So he probably knows that if he's the better jungler, he can play around those common matchups. Nunu, less common. Doesn't exactly know maybe how the pathing works, how he's going to supplement the lanes. Just safer, I think.
I mean, it's just a complete unknown, and now that Tiamat is coming back in the meta, being able to secure your own camps and build up those big experience leads is relatively important for Rek'Sai, and if anything is going to shut that down, will probably be that Nunu running into your jungle, taking away your Grom, taking away that big Raptor, and just generally annoying you.
I mean, Flash, Snowball, Engage, that's the scariest thing out of it, right? It has to be.
I do not like hearing the words Flash, Snowball, Engage ever put together in a sentence.
Well, apparently in every single match that we've seen Carbon play this, Nunu has been. But look at this, Warlock's been cornered. Is that going to be first blood? It is! Picked up by Claire in the mid lane. What the heck just happened?
And this is the worst feeling as a LeBlanc. All of a sudden, what should be a lane that you can start harassing is going to come back with either a Dark Seal or an extra Doran's Ring. It's going to be the Dark Seal. It's going to be the extra potion. And that lane becomes incredibly hard for G4 to now try and snowball.
Yeah, G4 is the Dark Seal specialist, and now he has to face one at a minute 30, so that'll be fun. I think that the important thing to, I guess, just get a grasp on there is that they also got, obviously, the 4 assists across the lanes as well, so they're obviously all going to get level experience leads, sorry,
Yep.
and they're all going to have like a slight extra buy on their first base. So this early game threat that Ascension may have had just been nullified, I guess, to a small degree.
And the other big thing is, Observer moves his mouse, is the fact that this is the first time we've seen someone try and get in a lane and stop the plants coming out of Zyra this early in. And you can see that Legacy read it like a book and actually were able to shut that down quite hard. So, I mean, Ascension thought they had the read on the game, thought that they were going to commit to the play, but the gank came out instead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, you know, we'll see the interesting to note that Carbon started reversing his path. He started topside, obviously no access to the Raptors as you'd normally expect, but interested to see what he does here. I can't say I recognize this path from any game.
He's gone red buff Wolves, now moving on to his blue buff.
I think, yeah, the only advantage I can see from this is just that he wants to clear at a high HP, so I'm guessing that if he tries to do Raptors, he's going to take just too much damage maybe for an early gank.
Whereas Rek'Sai went for Raptors red, full clear, not leaving the big chicken behind, now back towards top side of the map.
Didn't get the Mega Leash because the Lulu was dead, and you can see that Carbon actually can repel to the Blast Plant and actually get in behind. And you can see that Warlock as well as Lloyd are very aware of this possibility. The repel came in, and now he's in behind them. I mean, flash still available on Cupcake. Ooh. This should be a kill.
Let's see if they can get it. Lloyd and Warlock already running away. Carbon now going to show himself. Throws out the Spiderling. Lloyd flashes. Cocoon goes way too wide, but Cupcake still flashes forward. Lloyd is going to get taken down. Cupcake gets a kill, but what the heck? Return. Warlock gets double buff.
I mean, at the same time, they got what they came for. Warlock picks up a kill, has double buff, so the harass gets a little bit bigger. But you burn double summoner spells on Lloyd, and that wave can be shoved in. All of a sudden, the repeat gank is just so easy to execute as far as Zyra and Elise are concerned. And this is what you need to do as an Elise. You need to get busy early. You need to make sure you're having an impact on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, and I like that. I think that he took, obviously, the less favorable matchup, and then he changed his path so that the Rek'Sai wouldn't get a free read on him. And then he punishes Ascension for it. Obviously, definitely showing a little bit of respect. They see the Legacy bot lane start walking up unnaturally, and then they back off. Obviously, they didn't really know that the Elise is already behind them. But pretty good play out of the jungler. Would have liked to see him repel out of the damage or flash
it.
Yeah, but like everyone makes little mistakes and things like that. And I think it's still a net win for the team. He hasn't got these Mobies on his first base. It's tragic to see.
So going for the double jungle item and a control ward for himself. Here's that replay in the bottom lane.
Coming in from the scenic feud, of course. The big important thing is he gets the red buff down first, and that means as soon as Lloyd walks back, even though he dodges out on the cocoon, and that looks like an error out of Carbon, it is the fact that it leads him back into the Zyra, leads him back into all that much damage, and he does fall down. Lane has reversed off the turret, so now Carbon can continue to bully. You see that Nooney has read that play and is also bottom side of the map, actually picks himself up a Rift Scuttler, and they're going to meet.
Well, neither jungler wants to take the fight at the moment. Checking in with the mid lane, even far between Claire and G4 at the moment. But again, remember, Claire does have that extra Dark Seal and has yet to use any potions. G4 already chugging through his corrupting pots.
I mean, he's got
one
through
charge
one.
left.
Yeah, he's gone through one. He had 3 when he came to the lane.
Yeah, Spawn and I have our glasses
gone through
on.
2.
So we can, no.
No.
Claire had 3 potions.
Oh, okay.
It's a good thing we're wearing glasses.
I mean, he also needs to wear a hearing aid, apparently, because he's just not listening right either.
All right.
No, I think
We
that,
need a new play-by-play cast, so I'm done.
No, I think that this is definitely advantageous for Claire. I expect to see him just keep this control mid, and obviously, as you're seeing right now, it's leading to the jungle invade, and it means that Carbon can just push in and take these small advantages and slow the Rek'Sai down. We mentioned before that he gets his team out and he's going to start farming much faster than you. If you can deny his Raptors and get that +7, 6 or 7. I don't know. Inflate your own CS, make yourself look bigger. You just, I guess, yeah, you're just slowing down what inevitably will outscale you to some degree.
So you already see a first couple of backs coming in from both these teams. Tiamat for the Rek'Sai, upgraded jungle item for Carbon, finally getting his brown shoes. Tiamat for Jarvan as well, as we mentioned, and the Chalice of Harmony picks up for Claire in the mid lane.
Yeah, so going to go towards Athene's, most probably go towards the full support build after that in the Ardent Sensor as well. Of course, only giving 10% cooldown reduction at this stage, but at the same time, when you have a Jarvan top lane, when you have that Varus in the AD carry position, Legacy are one of the few teams that's flexed their support around in 3 roles. Claire's happy to play it. I mean, Carbon's happy to play it, and Cupcake on occasion, probably the least happy on the team to play it.
He's unlikely to play it. He's more like, oh, you can buy a ward for me. I'm going damage.
Yep.
Which we can see, he picked up the first blood.
Upgraded support item straight away. Give me some gold.
Get him a bit more damage, get a bit more gold. No, I think it actually makes sense. And oftentimes it's actually way better to get first blood, which no AD carry main likes to hear, but I think it's often much better to get the first blood on support, just because those first few buys are really, really crucial. If you somehow get that miracle 800 gold base early and you get the Sightstone first, that can be huge.
Well, let's see if he's able to use that to his favor in the bottom lane. Legacy still ahead in CS. Down there, they're about 1,000 gold ahead of Ascension in general.
Tally needs to be a little bit careful. Here we go.
Tally's been knocked in. He saw Nooney coming in, so not quite sure what he's trying to do here. Looking for a flag and drag out. Can't quite find it. Instead goes towards a turret. Tally just gets caught out.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, that was just a good ultimate. If Tally doesn't flash the ult there, he just dies. And,
Yeah,
doesn't burn anything. He tried to go for a Q play, knew he was dead, so just sat there.
I think he was sort of expecting that it would be opened with like a E-flash or something. And he would have been happy to trade there. Gets hit by the pretty short range ultimate, really. Wasn't that impossible to dodge for him, but maybe being a little bit greedy with his flash won't be the end of the world. He could TP back to lane, but he's going to sacrifice the CS and just stay relevant for his team.
Yep, very, very patient play, very controlled play coming out from Tally.
I mean, it depends if it's a cannon wave, right? So if the cannon's tanked up all those shots, doesn't look like it is actually. It looks like it's pushing back. So I think he should have teleported back. Regardless, I try and give people benefit of the doubt sometimes, so that I just see the whole wave die, and I'm like, ooh, that was a lot of CS that went.
Well, again, the GPL teams, every single grand stop we've seen from them so far, still going for the triple ring stack, which globally not as common anymore.
Yeah, so I think the reasoning for that, obviously you get stuck with the unique passives, and that was what made it, I guess, borderline broken. But it's still good in terms of wave clear. Obviously, Gragas likes that AP ratio on his Q, and it means that he gets lane priority in matchups he sometimes might not. I think probably can afford to go not the triple here, but obviously if that's just what he's comfortable with, why change it?
And it's also about knowing your damage values at a certain point, although that's a really nice trade coming out of Claire. Dodges the chains as well. Carbon's behind him.
Throws out his own. Carbon waiting in the wings in case anything goes wrong.
Of course, it's much easier to hit Karma chains than it is to hit the LeBlanc chains.
Carbon getting a bit aggressive, really pushing, I guess, well, not a lead anyway. He's actually behind now, but really pushing their bot side control advantage into complete jungle vision, but can't actually deny too much there. Just gets the information, which is obviously super important.
And I mean, that's kind of the difference between Tracker's Knife and the team at start. You can see that right now, Nooney's just trying to hard farm, gets himself that level, but doesn't have all that much control over the map. And with mid lane pushing in, with bottom lane pushing in, as well as the fact that they have you know, teleport still available on Tally, they're comfortable to take this, although it might turn into a fight.
Yeah, Legacy looking to try and complete this Mountain Dragon, easily picked up by Carbon. The rest of the team is collapsing. Lloyd trying to slow down Carbon, trying to dodge out chains as well. Very low on the spider there, but still gets out with the Mountain Dragon.
And, you know, good on Tally for not teleporting back to lane. That would have got super messy if there was a TP disadvantage, and, you know, and Lloyd just throws his arrow out.
And I mean, the other big thing for me is that looked like G4 did a lot of damage, but that was all the damage he had available. And you're running into a level 6 Zyra and Karma at this stage of the game, who is going to be so much more useful in those extended team fights. And you can see now Tally, a little bit worried about a dive, is backing away because of the fact that mid lane and jungle have disappeared into Fog of War. He's actually played this game maybe even too respectfully. I mean, he backed away at the start, and now he's losing a whole nother creep wave. Definitely has to burn TP to get back for this one.
Yeah, what's he looking to achieve here, I guess?
He's gonna
walk it out again.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna criticize the top laner too much for not getting dove, but yeah, obviously with full vision, G4 getting handed blue there, I think maybe he should just feign behind the tower in Fog of War, see that LeBlanc walks back mid, and then just like, you know, kick up the 4 out of the 6 minions.
Gives a big shot to Renren as well. He's a full level above Tally, picks up a Warden's mail.
I mean,
with Ninja Tabby already, he's not going to take any damage.
The only thing you can say is Jarvan at this stage actually pushes waves incredibly quickly. He's level 8, nearly level 9. He's going to have... Oh, Carbon, come on. You're supposed to leave the big raptor behind, not the little one. He's going to be able to have that max level Q. He's got the Tiamat for the passive as well to just be able to push this one out. So he'll be able to match wave clear. It's just a little bit alarming that the Jarvan, who bullies out most... Oh, good.
Arrow. Forces a flash out of Cupcake.
Did he need a flash that?
Heavy fingers there. Not sure he had to flash that one. Obviously respecting the Rek'Sai potential follow-up there. But no, I don't think that was necessary flash. I think if that was a decent distance that, you know, the Zyra ultimate would cover a lot of ground there. And then we might just see a 4-man TP into bot lane.
And everyone has teleport. So
yeah, I'm so excited for when that fight happens, when everyone's just like, all right, it's go time, let's go. And, you know, we see one ward light up, and then there's just an extra 4 people in the lane.
And
Ultimate
just might be now.
I think it did get dodged out by Low, but still gets locked down by the Zyra. Nooney's on top of Cupcake, gets a heal from Lost, not enough to keep him locked down. Warlock gets that kill. Tally's here, G4's here, everyone's piling on in for a big fight bottom lane. Nooney flashes out, Carbon in trouble, does get taken down. Double kill for the Lulu. Legacy is still trying to fight this one 3-on-5. They get a return kill to Renren.
Here we go.
And G4 jumps in, big W proc, locks down Claire. He's been turned into a little critter. Lost gets tanked by the cannon minion. One more shot would kill him. Lloyd's charging forward. Tally wants to fight again. That's a big scrappy fight bot lane.
It certainly is, and you have to look at the follow-up here. G4 is continuing, looking for some more kills, but the members had backed away.
Very tricky from them.
And they come away with the extra kill, but the waves are actually potentially in favor of Legacy. Depends how quickly they can get back there and start cleaning them up. Top lane will sit up nicely for them. Mid lane will be shoved into the turret, so Claire's going to lose a lot. And bottom lane, they also lose some farm. So big advantages coming through for Ascension Gaming.
Yeah, definitely not in the favour of Legacy there. Obviously, there's a slight slow push mid that, G4 just gets to deny a lot of experience now into Claire. The bot lane got shoved into, and thankfully, Tally will get to clean up some of this CS. That was as exciting as I thought it would be. All 4 TPs. Maybe it could have been a bit more blood, but definitely an exciting start to the game. The one interesting thing to note is that the double kill, for whatever reason, seems to always get put onto Lulu.
That's true, actually, and Claire was able to pick up another kill for himself, I think it was. Let's take another look at this one. So it starts off with Lloyd actually face-tanking the Zyra, puts himself against the wall, so he knows he's going to get nailed here, but just trusting in the fact that Warlock's got ultimate, got shield, has heal as well. And then all of the teleports start coming in, and actually Legacy were a little bit late. Yeah,
no, to be honest, that's completely on Legacy there. Lost, hit that ultimate. Carbon hit the flash cocoon on the stun target. Like, if those two CCs hit, I think that we see a very different fight here. Late teleport or not, I think it probably benefits them. Bait them in anyway, TP, clean up even more.
If that flash cocoon landed from Carbon, Lloyd would be dead, couldn't put up the follow-up damage, different team fight. So, poor play from Legacy, great punish from Ascension.
But you can see the power of Karma also at the early game stage. I mean, able to continually spam out spells. It's probably sitting on 20 or 30 cooldown reduction, depending on what rune she's taken at this stage as well. And you can see that just the repetitive damage actually dissuaded that. If that's any other mid laner, you've already used your ultimate, you've got nothing else to offer, you're probably losing at least another member there. Somehow, however, even though they lost that trade, and we thought the creep waves weren't good, Gold didn't move.
No. Still dead even between the two teams. Before we went into the replay, Carver was trying to solo out Rifthold. It seems like Ascension were able to stop that.
Yep. And all of a sudden, no, that's a LeBlanc clone, so completely ignore what I'm saying. Minimap has betrayed me again. It's a little bit grey.
Yeah, Tally's not scared by that either. Just sort of looks at it last. But, bot lane, still definitely the contentious area of the map. All 4 flashes down. Actually, every single summon the spell down, and everyone has their fighting ultimates up again. So I expect that we're going to see a bit of action towards the bottom side pretty soon. So
Athene's has been completed by Claire. He's picked up a Forbidden Idol as well as Iron and Boots of Lucidity. So a lot of cooldown reduction for this Karma, and as Spawn mentioned, moving into the supportive role of the mid laner.
I mean, I actually just love this build. When you're not up against Vladimir, oh, big
fight bottom lane. Arrow's been thrown out. They try to lock down the Zyra. Nuni jumps in again. Carbon's here, gets the first kill, and it's a shutdown. Cupcake gonna get jumped on by the Rek'Sai. Will get fallen. Nuni trying to go toe-to-toe, just can't quite do it. Lloyd is being chased down. Lost tries to take him down. He's got to back off because the LeBlanc is trying to run in. What?
What a mistake. What a mistake.
He's walked down to the bottom lane now.
Shove in top.
That's exactly right. Tally pushing a big wave in.
And all of a sudden, shutdown goes across. Warlock falls. They're able to get more gold onto Carbon. They catch him up in experience a little bit. And Tally, real beneficiary here because he's played respectful. He's moved off turret. He fell behind for his team. Now he gets to catch up.
Yeah, and actually, credit to Carbon there. He read that very well. Just as I was mentioning, everyone's summoners spells are down. Everyone's ultimates are coming back up. He comes straight bottom lane, sees the Rek'Sai. They get way too much damage off on Lulu. She has to ult herself. And then, as you said, claims his shutdown, and Legacy get a very nice trade out of that.
And they do exactly what you were talking about in the last replay, Jish. They hit the crucial abilities this time around, got themselves the kill, and Lloyd this time was one that wasted his ultimate, threw it onto a target, which he didn't quite need to lock down there.
Beautiful to see people hit skill shots in League of Legends. Definitely not a basic requirement of the game, but we see, Carbon heading back for the double mountain. Actually, pretty exciting this game. They have a relatively good Baron in terms of
I would say
speed.
they have a fantastic Baron team. I mean, the shields that come out of Claire means that they don't really need a tank to take it. And then you got Elise, Blade of the Ruined King user. I mean, that is going to be a very quick, as soon as you have Spiderlings plus plants, I mean, you're able to take it very quickly.
Absolutely. And, anyone with double mountain is going to do it fast regardless of the composition.
Tally's been talking to Swiper.
He's
turned
getting
into
the
double golem goblin. What is that? What Swiper calls him?
The Krug Goblin.
I don't know. I started calling him the Krug enthusiast.
Yeah.
It's
just boost your CS up there.
So Monster's just ducking out to pick up Krugs every once in a while.
Yeah. So red side top laners get this inherent advantage because whenever there's a slight chance of a dive or you just want to get free experience in gold, you just walk over and kill the Krugs. And
at this stage of the game, Elise actually clears them so slowly that she's probably not going to waste her time and go up for it. She wants to be able to gank. She wants to be putting map pressure out. So you can see that, and he's even got a Dark Seal. I respect Carbon's game this time.
I mean, he's got Merc Treads. That's not as fun as Moby Boots. He's got Tracker's Knife. That's not just one of Skirmish's saver.
I mean, Tracker's Knife is always going to be seen. And Moby Boots, I think, first brick going over.
Wow.
Legacy all of a sudden have got a big advantage.
100% the product of bot lane. Renrin walks down and he misses out on crucial wave pushing. He misses out on experience. Tally gets a free shop in. Has really good, minus boots, but he has good items. And there's nothing that Renrin can do at this point to stop that turret take.
Ascension trying to counter that with a play bottom side, but look at this. Carvers just says, sure, you can send your jungler bot lane. I'm going to take a Rift Herald.
That's so greedy. His top lane is based. His mid lane is basing. I don't know how he gets away with that.
And very patient play from Lost as well. Cupcake. They backed off this turret quite a few times.
You don't want to dive Varus Ira. I mean, most people would be sitting there thinking, you got Lulu, you got Ash Arrow, just get underneath the turret. Trust me, Varus Ira locks down everyone. That is not a play that you make unless you are at best trading kills.
Yeah, and they had no...
Ooh. That's a 2-on-1
He flashed
picked
over
up
the
there.
wall.
Nooney now looking to try and lock down Cupcake. G4 has recoiled, so Cupcake, he just has to try and run out of this pit. Teleports coming in from everyone again. Ash Arrow used. Zyra still alive somehow. Lost has got his second kill and goes on a killing spree, but G4 flashes forward. He's going to get cleansed out of that one, I believe. G4 now forced to flash back into the blue buff. Tally jump on top of Lloyd. The Ash is trying to cut this one away, but Gragas is the casualty. Tally picks up that kill, and Legacy are now 8-6.
And Claire is the MVP, keeps Cupcake alive for so long that multiple members need to keep committing, and all of a sudden they run away with a team fight. They've got the Rift Herald, they can drop it mid lane, and Legacy are going to burst into the lead.
And they're going to break open the map, which is fantastic to see. Legacy, shaky early game sometimes need to rely on themselves to team fight late game. They get a free turret top, they get the free turret mid, and they just have so much map control at this point in the game. And they're starting to accelerate this game into like a mid-game. They've got a nice buffer. We have the replay now.
And that is just so nice. I mean, they nail him with both ultis over the wall. Maybe even not needed the flash, but just wants to make sure with the kill. Sometimes it's about sending a message, Jim.
Absolutely. Better safe than sorry in that instance. You really want to get that pick because otherwise, you're committing ultimates and you're in such a dangerous spot having, the two ultimates down. Everyone commits with these TPs here, and we see that Lost doesn't die here. Crucial Karma Shield on Lost just there.
What if he actually cleansed it?
I think that Karma has a Mikhail's Crucible at the moment instead of Athene's Unholy Gale, because he did get out of the change. That was the cleanse effect on him.
So it has to be a QSS or a Mikhail's. I would...
QSS.
All right.
Thank God he didn't buy Mikhail's.
I was about to say, that's really given over the support range. At that point, you may as well be playing mid-lane Zyra.
Spending 20 minutes being like, Claire, is this like, Karma is going to pop off? Oh, wait, he just went, what? Yeah, nah. Good to see that Lost has a lot of respect for his opponents here. He's gotten... Wait, when did Cupcake die?
G4 just picked up a kill.
Right. See you later, Cupcake.
Assassinated.
Anyway, as I was saying, good to see that Lost has a lot of respect for his opponents. Obviously, some really, really important CC abilities. The Ash Arrow, the Gragas engage. And he doesn't want to, be the hyper carry who's just going to have to do all the damage. He respects that his team, in protracted and elongated team fights, he'll do more.
Especially given the fact that he's got an Ardent Sensor. Absolutely. I mean, that picks up the damage for him. He returns the favor by making himself a little bit more difficult to kill. Karma actually going to face check multiple members here.
Oh, taking quite a bit of damage
chains.
there. Karma going to have to try and shield herself. Will be able to jump away for quite some time, but G4 double dash in. Ultimate thrown out by Renrin as well to keep the rest of Legacy at bay.
That is a great brush camp because you know that the Karma is going to cheat through vision. Mid lane turret is so much more important to save than that bottom lane outer. So Claire tries to come across, tries to do the team thing, gets punished for it. Could have been.
They're going for it.
I think that this is going to be a bait and run away.
4 members bottom side from Ascension. Ash is still there, so even if they come up, it's going to be a
Arrow's coming out.
Arrow is coming in.
They're committed to this.
Let's see if they go for it. Legacy trying to take this down. Arrow nails Tally. G4 looking for the assassination. Connects with the chains on Lost, but forced to go back. 2,000 health. 1,500. Karma peels up. They go for the fight. G4's the first casualty. Elise is very low. They're still tanking up Baron. Flash away from the body slam. 3 members of Legacy chase towards the jungler, and the Baron play pays off.
I mean, they could have nearly finished that. Tally could have altered up the Rek'Sai. He would have had to flash into the pit to go for the Desperation Steal. They go back to it straight away.
They want this. Carmen's back up to 4, healed off the plants.
I mean, they're putting the game on the coin flip there if they go for that. Noonie was in range of getting into the pit there, so I
No
think
Karma
they'll
makes
turn
this
again.
dangerous.
Carbon is low again. Renren gets some good damage. They should engage here. Tally jumps in. Repel coming out from Elise. Noonie pops the ultimate, comes back out. Still alive somehow. 2 kills picked up by Ascension. Noonie will fall eventually. Cupcake is the one that is low. Claire and Lost leading the charge in this team fight. Lost trying to jump in, gets turned into a critter. Good route coming out from them. Locking down the top laner. Ultimate from Lost almost chains up the AD carry and support as well. Big plays from Legacy.
I mean, 3 for 2 in the long run, but you can just see the threat that Legacy have at the moment. All of their carries are actually online right now. They're going to continue to look for these scrappy little team fights, and until more items come out, you know, on the Ashe, on the LeBlanc, they're not going to be able to get through the shields.
Lost played that so well. We commented on how he didn't have his Karma to start the fight, but you know, he was not scared at all. He ran up to the front line. He was hitting Renren a lot. And then even when he gets the kill, he starts chasing into their jungle by himself. And then his team's like, hey buddy, let's back off here. Like, you know, we'll take the victory as it comes. They caught 2 pretty big waves in mid and bot. Now they're like, obviously they're gonna catch the top wave, but they're gonna deploy again, I think, for the Baron. Or maybe sneak the triple Melton Drake.
Ooh, G4 just jumped over the
Got
wall.
him.
Tries to take down the Cupcake. Very low, almost falling. The ticking
Now he's
damage is
dead.
there, but G4's gonna fall. Cupcake gets that kill with the plants.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. That is a millimeter of health difference. He's able to survive, get some good damage out in return, and then, I mean, unlucky for G4, but greedy play potentially.
That's one of the things that Southeast Asia, I think, have definitely punished Oceanic teams in the past, is that... Ooh,
Hang on, they're going for a steal. Nooney's jumped over the wall.
Don't know about
Dragon
that play.
actually resets. Karma gets it anyway. Triple mounted, and they kill the Rek'Sai. This could be a
Go to
Baron
Baron.
play.
I mean, all of a sudden,
Yeah,
just
run.
run to
Run,
Baron.
boys, run.
I mean, they've got 2 members dead. G4's going to have his teleport, sure, but that's a telegraph play.
Triple mountain.
Triple Mountain Dragon. We've already talked about the shields, the Zyra plants. Everything else is still available. This should be a free Baron.
Yeah,
Let's see
just
what they
commit to
do.
the finish here. There's very little that...
G4 does have teleport, so he can join this fight and make it a 4-on-5
And
at
he's
least.
going to.
Cupcake is very wounded, and Legacy are taking up Baron. There's the arrow going in. He still gets it. Carbon smites it away while stunned up. Lost will take down the AD carry. G4's been locked down again. Deja vu for the mid laner. Double kill coming up for Lost. He's found some for himself. Renren's trying to run away. Tally locks him down. Big triple kill for the Varus, and Legacy are on their way to a victory.
And the young guns of Legacy are coming up absolutely massive. I mean, Lost, Claire, Cupcake, all playing their roles perfectly. And with 2-3 members dead, they're going to look to break the base. It's only 24 minutes in,
Claire
Fish.
diving into the back line. Tally's going to come through as well. Gets a couple auto attacks down. Lost goes legendary. Noonie just watches as his teammates die one by one. And attack after attack. An ace is picked up. Legacy will break the base.
Tally stole his penta! That was the elongated, you know, it wasn't exactly in the same team fight, but that was 5 kills!
Well, this is going to be 2 inhibitors at least for Legacy. Let's see if they try and push for more. 20 seconds on Warlock, 30 on Noonie. They've already got 1 inhibitor top side. They still have Baron buff to work with, but they make the safe play and head back to base.
And the OPL squads have absolutely shown up today too. God is the myth that they're a day 1 team. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful League of Legends. 25 minutes in, they accelerate the pace of the game, but they have the comp to do it this time, and it just looks so good.
So we're going to see this Baron fight again, and obviously there's nothing that Southeast Asia can do here but contest, but there's no way they get the smite off Carbon. And at that point, they're committed to this fight. Good engage or flank from Cupcake, and you know, watch Lost. He's just walking forward. Like he's not scared of anyone. He wants to walk forward to the fight. Gets low, flashes forward anyway. Like Karma shields are going to have his back no matter what. He's still frontlining at this point, looking for his triple kill. I think Tally's going to get the... Yeah, Tally gets him here to slow him down. There comes the triple. And you know, he chases in for his 4th and 5th kill in just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice play. 11-0-1-6. And we just got to go back to it. I mean, they're called utility AD carries, but Ashe and Varus, if you don't blow them up, both turn into turrets. I mean, they sit there, they stand, they deliver, they have so much lifesteal that comes out of Bork Hurricane, as well as running Warlord's Bloodlust, and they just pump out damage.
Being in 17 of your 18 kills is like the definition of utility. And however you want to say utility, like, doing a lot of damage to anyone is still useful. Like, I don't know, Lost is having a fantastic performance.
Well,
you know, a lot of pressure on him from that lane to start with. But these team fights are looking great.
With this Baron, Legacy have got a ton of kills. They've picked up 4 turrets already. Actually, make that even more. 5 turrets with top lane Inner being taken down with this ball. Acquired a 14,000 gold lead for themselves. They're pushing for the final inhibitor turret.
I mean, this should be game. Tally is level 16, has GA. He's just going to dive in here.
G4 is looking to try and get an assassination, but look at Nooney, he's already dead. Claire will actually fall, but everyone in the back line just gone. Big cataclysm being popped down by Tally. Only G4's left. He watches as the rest of this squad gets absolutely murdered by the Oceanic liner, and Legacy will be able to keep the Oceanic hopes and dreams alive.
I mean, they've just absolutely wiped the floor with Ascension. Legacy finally able to get that big international performance, and they seize it with both hands.
And with that, now the finals is going to come down to the final game today. That will decide who gets seeded in after Legacy's victory.
We are in for a treat. You know, Carbon has been, tasting international adventures since his wildcard run in 2014. And, he's back on the stage, has a great performance with his team. I don't think he could be prouder. I mean, he doesn't really look it. He looks pretty placid, to be honest.
I mean, he looks pretty focused, I
Probably
think is a fair thing to say. I mean, this is just group stage. I mean, I'm super excited. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I mean, there still is so much of the tournament left for these guys to be able to play. Maybe he's just thinking of the fact that Juves is legitimately the flag bearer now of the Oceanic Hope.
Well, it's come true. Sin is actually the hopes and dreams of Oceania. I've been told if they're able to pick up the victory in the next game, Oceania will be seeded into the grand finals.
I mean, I couldn't think of the guy that I would rather have actually carrying it at the moment because, say what you will about Juves.
What? I could think of a few.
Nah. From Oceania. He is a big game player, and there is no bigger game. He was able to, 5-game series versus AV, 5-game series versus the Chiefs. Nearly got it done versus Legacy. I mean, it was Carbon actually that came up with a game-winning play that kept that series alive. So I have faith in Sin. I've absolutely flipped on a dive. I'm such a hypocrite, but yep, bring it home for us.
Well, let's take a look at that last match though. Ascension, again, not quite performing so well, but this time around they had a few big plays that almost put them far enough ahead to try and take this game.
I mean, bottom lane focus throughout the whole game. I think that's where we have to start. Double TP run by both team, and it was just the fact that Ascension, they got little advantages, but when Legacy took their advantages, they were much larger.
And we've often seen, especially with Chiefs' performance in the past overseas, we always say that, Oceania teams, they do have intelligent macro. It's whether they can stand up on this individual level. Today, Legacy definitely stood up on individual level. They went toe-to-toe. And then, as you said, when they're taking advantages, they're taking massive sweeps across the map and taking all the turrets.
And, we have to give props because one thing that domestically we criticize Legacy on is they're not a Baron-taking team. Their setup's generally sloppy. They're very predictable when they're going to go for it when they're baiting it. This time, every single time they went for it, they just pulled the trigger, kept drawing them in, kept getting big advantages.
Well, we have one of those Baron fights later on, but first let's take a look at the Dragon fight that we saw between Legacy and Ascension. Wasn't exactly a Dragon fight, but it was around the pit, and this was off the back of a 2-on-1 kill.
Yeah, it certainly was, and all of a sudden, Cupcake lost, they're flashing over the wall, they also get the heal out of Lloyd, and then they just continue it, and you can see that as soon as the play is called for teleport, everyone's once again getting into this fight. Claire doesn't have to teleport, he gets there early, and he just keeps Cupcake alive for that much longer that Renrin has to burn his complete realist spells. If that goes on to Lost, maybe that's a different team fight. Instead, they have to keep going after the Zyra, and Legacy are able to pick up a couple of kills and all of the tempo in this game.
Yeah, and that starts the mountain train, right? And then it's just basically, obviously a little bit of RNG luck there, but it becomes a timer of when the Baron is actually unstoppable.
Yep, so speaking of Baron, we actually have that play coming up now as well. Legacy, as you mentioned, Spawn, historically not that great at taking down these objectives, but this time very decisive.
I love this. Karma, as well as the Elise and Zyra. Any chance you can go near Baron, you should just be starting that. You burn it out very quickly. Triple Mountain Drake, we keep mentioning it. And then they actually fight the team fight really well. They turn and burn. They burn out the dragon, then they turn as a unit. They're prioritizing the right targets. I mean, as soon as G4 dives in, every single member starts hitting him in the head. And then they just continue this chase through. And you can see that the communication is definitely there. Send Claire back early, get the teleporting, continue the play. I mean, they're just playing confident League of Legends.
I mean, yeah, that's obviously a desperation attempt from Ascension. No jungler, that's a near impossible contest. But, credit to Legacy. They often have looked kind of shaky, often different wavelengths. Half the team wants to back out. Carbon maybe sacrifices himself for the Baron finish. Instead, they finish the Baron together, stay as a unit, have a really nice flank, and then just pile on through and win the fight.
Yeah, it was a big play from Legacy. And again, something that you guys have mentioned throughout this entire series, the fact that it's the rookies again from Legacy that really stepped up in this game. They're against veterans like G4, Lloyd, and Warlock, and they were able to take them to the test.
Mate, it's the rookies of Oceania that have stepped up massively this tournament. I mean, if any, FBI, Ryoma, Claire, Lost, Cupcake, all these guys, they should hold their heads so high. It is a tough ask to go over to Vietnam, and perform this well against home teams. And we've seen in the past that some teams haven't been able to do it, and they're just performing incredibly well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the time when the old guard is starting to move on, and we finally have some up and coming talent. Isn't something to be laughed at or joked at. With some proper infrastructure and some good coaches, which we are getting now. We're going to breed these into really, really good players.
Well, before we head into a break, it's that time of day again to take a look at the World Championship skins for SKT from 2016. This year round, SKT were more involved in making their skins than ever before. Immediately following Worlds, SKT spent some time at Riot creating new, more regional designs for their commemorative skins. Each player modeled for their recall and also signed the skin with the autograph appearing alongside the T1 logo. Koma also becomes the first coach to have his own World skin, and 25% of the proceeds will go towards SKT, their players, as well as all the competition they faced along the way. They'll be available in stores for 1,350 RP from the 5th of July to the 19th of July. And, Ejim's not on the desk. Couldn't ask him if it's on his skin tier list. What do you think, Jish? Do you think it's going to be?
All right, let's start this with Ejim's skin tier list sucks. I don't know why he's cheating on that anyway. But no, I think that's really cool. It's exciting that, the player's legacy is going to live on for years to come now, even if they retire. And, there's some really fun and quirky things in it. And
I also think the big thing for me is the fact that Koma gets some recognition. He's led a different roster there every single time. He's been a staple of that organization. People will talk about when Faker retires, how much of a legend is he? And he's the GOAT at this point. He's the greatest of all time. But Koma deserves so much props. He takes what are mediocre Korean talent, brings them onto the roster, and you're like, how is Untara such a good top laner? Blank has goes in and out. Bengi's the best Italy player in the world. He just does magic with that roster.
I think the best one is that he goes Huni from Lucian top to Maokai.
Yeah.
Huni refused to play Maokai on Immortals.
Well, with that, we're going to head into a break, but we'll be back with the final game today, and it will decide who will be seeded into the grand finals. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Look at this. Warlock's been cornered. Is that going to be first blood? It is. Picked up by Claire in the mid lane. What the heck just happened?
And
ultimate
just
used
might
by
be now.
Lost. I think it did get dodged out by Low, but still gets locked down by the Zyro. Nooney's on top of Cupcake. Gets a heal from Lost. Not enough to keep him locked down. Warlock gets that kill. Tally's here. G-Force here. Everyone's piled on in for a big fight bottom lane. Nooney flashes out. Carbon in trouble. Does get taken down. Double kill for the Lulu. Legacy is still trying to fight this one 3-on-5. They get a return kill to Redmond.
Here we go.
And G4 jumps in. Big W proc. Locks down Claire. He's been turned into a little critter. Lost gets tanked by the cannon minion. One more shot would kill him. Lloyd's charging forward. Tally wants to fight again. That's a big scrappy fight bot lane. And teleports coming in from everyone again. Ash Arrow used. Zyra still alive somehow. Lost has got his second kill and goes on a killing spree, but G4 flashes forward. He's going to get cleansed out of that one, I believe. G4 now forces a flash back into the blue bar. Tally jump on top of Lloyd. The Ash is trying to cut this one away, but Gragas is the casualty. Tally picks up that kill, and Legacy are now 8-6. Carbon is low again. Renren gets some good damage. They should engage here. Tally jumps in. Repel coming out from Elise. Nooney pops the ultimate, comes back out. Still alive somehow. 2 kills picked up by Ascension. Nooney will fall eventually. Cupcake is the one that is low. Claire and Lost leading the charge in this team fight. Lost trying to jump in, gets turned into a critter. Good root coming out from them. Locking down the top laner. Ultimate from Lost almost chains up the AD carry and support as well. Big plays from Legacy. Cupcake is very wounded, and Legacy are taking up Baron. There's the arrow going in. He still gets it. Carbon smites it away while stunned up. Lost will take down the AD carry. G4's been locked down again. Deja vu for the mid laner. Double kill coming up for Lost. He's found some for himself. Renren's trying to run away. Tally locks him down. Big triple kill for the Varus, and Legacy are on their way to a victory. And G4's looking to try and get an assassination, but look at Nooney. He's already dead. Claire will actually fall, but everyone in the back line just gone. Big cataclysm being popped down by Tally. Only G4's left. He watches as the rest of this squad gets absolutely murdered by the Oceanic lineup, and Legacy will be able to keep the Oceanic hopes and dreams alive.
They've just absolutely wiped the floor with Ascension. Legacy finally able to get that big international performance, and they seize it with both hands.